the ability to keep going. You work so hard towards something and nothing really comes to fruition. And a lot of people will give up in that kind of gray area. My dad's probably my hardest client. He will get me to show him 90 houses and then walk away and be like, yeah, none of them were what I wanted. But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to find that perfect place for him.
Yeah.
And it's about asking the right questions and getting to know really the drivers for him on what he's looking for. And so, I think that perseverance piece, it really carries forward as an athlete. You try, you don't see results. And then one day they just show up being like, well,
wow,
where did that come from? And you're like,
exactly.
oh, all that other work that I did lead me to here.
Hi there. Welcome to another episode of CREB Cast. Today, I feel very privileged and honored to be here with Mirela Rahneva. She is an Olympian. I'm not going to tell you too much about her because that's what we're going to do in the interview. But I am very, very grateful to you for agreeing to come and be on our CREB Cast. So I want to welcome you. I hope that your drive-in wasn't too crazy this morning.
Yeah. Happy to be here. Drive was just fine.
Yeah, that's good. I want to just start right from the beginning. I know that you were born in Bulgaria, and then you moved to Ontario, right? Yeah.
Ottawa.
Yeah, at a very young age.
Yeah, I was 9, turning 10 that summer, and my family came over with nothing. We sold the piano, we sold the apartment, got up and kind of left overnight, it seemed like, and landed in Ottawa, and that's kind of where
the journey started. So I did read that you're basically an overall athlete, like you football and rugby and all of those kinds of things. Does that come from your mom and dad?
Yeah, sports always been really integrated into my upbringing. My mom was a sprinter. She was a national junior champion.
Wow.
And my dad was an acrobatic gymnast. So he was in the gym doing
really
crazy things, with like partners.
Right. Did they make it to the world stage as you did?
Not quite.
No.
Opportunity was a little smaller for them.
Right.
Eastern Bloc country, communist until 89. So,
the opportunities just weren't there as they were for you. We're so lucky that you finally moved to Alberta and Calgary, to be specific. How did you get into? Is it called skeleton racing?
Yeah, racing,
okay.
skeleton-y.
How did you get into that, and how did your interest develop in that field?
When we first came to Canada, sport was a vehicle of us integrating into society here. For me, anyway, I remember it was like a middle school recess. There was a bunch of kids running around the playground, and I started just kind of running behind them, and I ended up crashing a cross-country practice. The coach came up and was like, hey, you should probably just come join us every day. And then there's these meets where you get to compete with other schools. And so that's kind of my entry into sport in Canada through crashing a practice. And then it got more and more invested into cross-country, track and field, all the field events.
Right.
And there was a sense of competition that I always really admired. And teachers and coaches kept coming up to me and saying, you should try flag football or you should try rugby. And I was like, okay, I'm very much like a yes kind of personality.
Yeah.
So it turned from running to wrestling to rugby.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, and rugby was a big one for me. I had discovered it in high school. You create a sense of community through sport, and that carried over into university. I chose my university based on the rugby team. And then from there, long story short, I had a couple of rugby friends and people that I admired, older than me, go into bobsleigh. And I remember watching the 2010 games, and there was Heather Moyes, who was a spectacular rugby player, winning gold medals with Kaylee Humphreys.
Wow. What an inspiration. And I know both of those names, and I'm not an athlete in any way. So, there's some great mentors in your life.
Yeah, I think that there's something to be said about representation. I know that we've kind of discovered that now, but seeing is believing, and having strong female characters kind of paving the way and making it seem possible for yourself is great.
Yeah.
And I hope to be maybe that for somebody else.
You probably already have been, and you probably don't even know. So going from rugby to now standing on top of a mountain of ice, and knowing that you have to slide down there on a flat bed platform. How did that come about?
Yeah, I think that the power and speed aspect
Oh,
really
okay.
attracted me.
Yeah.
You go to this recruitment camp and they test you on dry land. So you do a sprint and a squat and a bench press and a jump. And so you're tested with your athletic ability, but you don't really get to taste the sport until you are sent down that ice sheet.
Right.
And for me, that was going down to Lake Placid, New York, being from Ottawa at the time, and kind of just being booted off the
Yeah.
top of a track, and then you get to the bottom and you're like, did I like that? And it's very distinctive,
Yeah.
a yes or no for most people, and for
Right.
me it was a definite yes.
Yeah.
I'm so hooked into this. I want to go faster. How do we make that happen?
How fast do one of those things go?
The fastest I've gone is 144 kilometers an hour.
Wow.
In Whistler, BC, and that is the fastest
Wow.
track in the
Wow.
world. So it's really cool to have had that in our backyard and that been my playground.
Was it exhilarating or was it scary?
Both.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there's a fine line between those two feelings.
Yeah, I would imagine, right?
Yeah. So
How long is the track?
each track is a little bit different. All are around probably 1 mile long. St. Moritz, Switzerland is probably the longest and my favorite, and it's carved out from natural snow every year.
Oh.
So you have these ice meisters that work there, and they live on the track during
Right.
the season, and they're responsible for 2 corners or 3 corners a year, and that is their dedication and passion and
Yeah.
purpose. But they literally pile snow in and then just kind of artfully craft these corners that
Right.
are, meters long.
Those are the kind of jobs that we don't even think about. Like we watch it on TV. It never crosses my mind to think, oh, I wonder who molded the track.
Yeah.
So that's really very
Yeah.
cool.
There's actually a little ice meister house inside one of the corners. It's called Sunny. It gets lots of sun, and they literally will sleep in that little house, and it's nestled into the corner
Really?
in the mountain. Yeah, and it starts in St. Moritz, and then the track ends in a different town in
No
Switzerland called
way.
Celerina. It is just like a magical place, and anybody that has ever slid there can
Wow.
attest to it being a really, really cool location.
Some of the cool things that you've probably seen and done blows your mind. You probably didn't know that you would be doing the things that you're doing today.
Yeah, I'm really fortunate. I'm really lucky that I was drawn to sport, and it has definitely provided a lot of opportunity,
Yeah.
both personally and professionally, to grow, meet people, travel the world,
Yeah.
experience different cultures. And
Right. You've probably met people from all corners of the world,
Mm-hmm.
and it's probably been quite knowledgeable for you.
Absolutely. I think that it's really interesting how you connect with different people from different places.
Yeah.
Most of my connections are through either dogs.
You're a dog lover, are you?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's excellent. Me too.
And people in Europe are like, these are my children. No, you can't pet them.
Right.
But if you approach in the right way,
Yeah.
they're like, okay, you love dogs. I get it.
Yeah, yeah.
But dogs, coffee, or croissants or chocolate.
Yeah.
Like those are the things that like I've always been able to relate to people
Right,
with.
right.
And most of my friends abroad are based on introductions
Yeah,
through one of those.
right, right. Are skeleton racers mostly men? Are there mostly women, or is it kind of equal?
Yeah, it's mixed. It's mostly equal. We
Yeah.
have the same quotas now at the Olympics. We didn't used to. My first Olympics, there was 30 male quotas and 25 female quotas. So from all the countries and all the sliders in the world,
Okay.
only 25 were able to qualify. Now it's, I think, 30 and 30. It's one of those sports where you travel together, and we traveled with bobsleigh as well. And it's unique in that I know that in hockey, it's a totally different culture because you travel with just girls or just boys. And I think it creates a different kind of respect for each other's talents, gender, and a little bit more of a broader understanding of what each athlete goes through.
Yeah.
Just being able to travel together and experience
Right.
all that.
I would imagine that it gives you a sense of camaraderie.
Absolutely.
And you get to know people's personalities. So it's not only based on the skills that they have, but what they bring to the table as a person as well. So I'm sure that's been a lot of fun. I know you've got a couple of sisters, right?
Yeah.
Did they become athletes as well?
Not quite.
No.
I think that they definitely have talent to do so, but they explored other talents.
Oh, good.
My older sister, she's very artistic, so
Yeah.
painting, crafting, all those talents. I think you mentioned before we got on that you always admire the things that you don't necessarily feel like you're the best at in other
Exactly.
people.
Yeah.
And I think I admire her
Yeah.
creativity, whereas I feel like I don't have it. But I have other things that I don't know if she admires,
Yeah,
but
I think you're a family that's just full of creativeness.
Yeah.
Doing what you do, I would imagine would take some creativity, some thinking outside the box, because I have never met anybody like you before. So, and I've been on the earth for quite some time, and I've been at CREB for many, many years. I know you've been to 2 Olympics. How was that?
it's incredible. I think that as an athlete, you have you put up horse blinders and the rest of the world doesn't exist. You're so fixated on this one thing. And
Yeah.
for me, it was getting to the Olympics, getting a gold medal. My first Olympics, skeleton's difficult. It is down to the 100th of a second. I came 12th my first Olympics in Pyeongchang 2018. I think I walked away.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thanks for saying that. But I think I walked away being really disappointed. And I wanted more. And I think that's part of an athlete's personality of always wanting better for yourself.
Yeah,
and you know
absolutely.
your potential and you just want to reach it. Going into Beijing, I had adjusted a couple of things. I had 2 sleds. I had experimented with other coaches. And day one of the 2022 Olympics, which were a really hard game to attend because it was COVID.
Oh, right.
You were
yes.
tested every, I feel like trigger warning, you were tested every day. But getting there, first run, I put down a blazing run, and it was the track record for the Olympic record.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. And then it was such a high, and then run 2, I remember getting up to the top of the track and being uh-oh. In training, I would have 1 heater, and then it would all fall apart, run 2. And I remember thinking that, and I think I'm very cognizant of how I think now, because I literally think it programs your brain. So if you allow that intrusive thought to come in, it kind of tells your body what to do next.
Yeah.
And I allowed rumination on that thought, and
Yeah.
lo and behold, run 2, it all fell apart for Mimi, and she fell back from first, I think, to 18th. It was a massive drop. And so overnight, we compete over 2 days. I had to really reframe the entire Olympic experience. I had gone there being I'm going to be winning that Olympic gold medal. And then overnight, I had to be okay, I need to climb back to as many spots I can and be as close. So I did that. Day
I know
2,
you got to 5th.
I got to 5th. It was a lot of work to get there. Yeah, but it was just laying down one good, great run after another.
Yeah.
I had 2 more opportunities to slide and show the world what I had potential to do, and I did. And, I go forward into every day for the rest of my life thinking okay, what you think is very important.
Yeah, the power of mind is just absolutely amazing. We're just skimming the surface with some of the things that we know. They say if you want something, you have to manifest it. So I would imagine it works the same way if you're thinking negative thoughts. How long does it take to get down the L?
Anywhere from 52 seconds, which is Königssee, Germany, one of the shortest tracks, to a minute 10.
Wow.
Which is the St. Moritz track, which is really long. And
When you broke the Olympic record with your first run, how many seconds was that?
I couldn't even tell
No.
you. No clue.
Is it an out-of-body experience almost?
No, I think that there's definitely analytical athletes' brains
Yeah.
that focus on like the times, the speeds,
Right.
the segments, and then there's the athletes that just kind of go with the flow, and I'm one of the go with the flow.
Right.
Yeah, people will know their start records on each track. I have the Park City track record still. I couldn't tell you what
Yeah.
that is. It's not part of my DNA.
Well, that's good. Some people are made for analytics, and some people. I'm definitely not one of those people.
And you appreciate that skill set.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just not one that I own.
Exactly. I just want to highlight being the 5th best skeleton racer in the world is nothing to frown about. So I hope that you had a great experience and you took away that, like the fact that you're the 5th best person in the world. There's 8 billion people in this world, so please be proud of
Yeah.
everything that you've accomplished.
Thank you so much. It's like a snapshot in point of time.
Yeah.
There's been times where I've come third in world championships. There's times where I've won races with over a second, which is like an eternity of time in skeleton. And they're all little snapshots
Yeah.
of my life. And I think that I've grown to appreciate them. And as you get further in life, I think you pause and reflect and you start to appreciate them. But at the point of time, it's really hard
Yes.
because
You wanted it so
more.
badly. But like you just mentioned, you have won some world-class medals, so that's nothing to frown about. But I know athletes always want to achieve that Olympic podium, right? So tell me how real estate came about.
My dad and I purchased a house. I moved to Calgary. He was working up north, and neither one of us had a home base. So we decided to purchase something that's big enough that we can have like a second dwelling in. And we found a house in the Northwest. I rezoned it, renovated the basement, put in a suite, legalized it, and the whole experience, it was like daunting at first, but baby step by baby step, the more research you put into it and you do a little bit of work, you wait, and then it progresses slowly. I think I really enjoyed that aspect. My dad still lives at the house. It provides an income for him. He's now looking at retirement, and it's just a really good setup for him. Also purchased a little apartment. I really am interested in real estate. I think it provides a lot of opportunity for people, whether it's like creating a little nest, a home base, a safe, secure place for you to enjoy and let go, or creating that for someone else or helping someone else find that. A little passion of mine. So it's not my full-time gig right now. I work full-time for an organization called KidSport, which I really love, really tied to sport and creating opportunity for others. But real estate has really sparked an interest, and initially I got my license just to be like, you know what, I can do this. Have a very DIY kind of attitude.
Right.
So it was initially to help family and friends, and it's still kind of in that area right now, but I'm really excited to have a listing coming out in like a week or so.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it is really exciting.
Yeah.
It's funny how you dream something up, you like have a little vision, and then you kind of like step towards it, and then it just kind of
It just
the
comes into
floodgates open.
fruition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you start doing the work, it's amazing all the doors that will open up for you. I had read that what you want to do is find your niche is basically to work with athletes that are moving into the city, and obviously beyond that with all of the other people that they work with, trainers, nutritionists, and all those. That was super interesting to me that you've just recently started. I'm sorry, I don't remember, how long have you been a member for?
Since July last year.
July last year, and you've already figured out what your niche is going to be. I'm really excited to see the things that you're going to do, because I've never really heard of anybody kind of working with those types of people, and you've already gotten in. Mirela, I also wanted to ask you, what are the skills that you learned while you were an athlete have you brought over to the real estate world?
There's not a whole ton of direct transferable skills from skeleton and sliding, but sport in general has taught me a lot, and I think it teaches kids and youth a lot. Teamwork, the ability to receive feedback. I think day to day, I'm constantly craving feedback, like tell me how I'm doing, like, you know, I'm gauging it myself, but like I need some external feedback. Perseverance. You know, you've got lots of ups and downs in regular life, and you have to be able to push through, and when things get tough, do you double down and try harder, or do you figure out another way, or do you walk away? Resiliency. I think that a lot of the time I do hard things, and sometimes my non-athletic my non-athletic friends are like, wow, like you really like went after it on this one. And I said, I go after it on everything I
Right.
do. Like that's so it's really interesting. I'm starting to now grow my group of friends outside of athletes. And for the
Nice.
longest time, it's Erica Wiebe, Olympic gold medalist in wrestling. You have all these high achievers in your sphere of influence, and it's different going into the regular world, having almost like these high expectations. You live like up here on like what can I achieve, and it's like sometimes like I literally will dream up like in the clouds, and I need someone to like really ground me, so like pull me back in.
Yeah.
The ability to connect with people, the ability to work with someone, that comes from sport for
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I would say the two things that really stuck out to me were the connection and the cohesiveness of working with a team. And I think that real estate is like that too. Whether you're at different brokerages, it doesn't matter. Your goal is the same, is to make sure that your client is happy.
Absolutely.
And the other one is perseverance, because even in real estate, you get knocked down. You know, you've shown them 90 houses, and at the end of the day, they've gone and bought with somebody else. So it's a matter of being able to pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and get going again. And with all that you've done and all that you've accomplished, I'm sure that that comes easier to you than it does to most people.
Absolutely. And sorry, you bring up one more thought. The ability to keep going. I often you work so hard towards something and nothing really comes to fruition. And a lot of people will give up in that kind of gray area. My dad's probably my hardest client. He
Yeah.
will get me to show him 90 houses and then walk away and be like, yeah, none of them were what I wanted. So
A family usually does, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
challenge us.
But I'm not going to give up. I'm going to find that perfect place for him.
Yeah.
And it's about asking the right questions and getting to know really the drivers for him on what he's looking for. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I think that perseverance piece,
Yeah.
it really carries forward as an athlete. You try, and you don't see results. And then one day they just show up and you're like, well,
Wow. Yeah.
where did that come from? And you're like, oh,
Exactly.
all that other work that I did lead me to here.
Yeah, it eventually shows up. Hard work will get us where we want to be. Well, I did want to talk about KidSport for a minute, if you don't mind.
Of course.
So it's an organization that helps children who otherwise would not be able to play sports. And it's a not-for-profit organization. It sounds like they do amazing work.
It's an incredible organization. It was started in 1995. Last year we celebrated 30 years of impact. And
Congratulations.
yeah,
Wow.
we funded 94 kids in the first year of operations 30 years ago. Last year, in 2025, we funded 10,736 kids.
Good job.
Yeah,
That's
and-
amazing.
And we're community rooted. It's like the funds that go out to help kids register for sport are raised right here in Calgary. So it speaks volumes to our community and the legacy that we have from the 88 Olympics, from the Stanley Cup. It's a community that is very generous and very rooted in sport. Like
Yeah.
we as Calgarians recognize that sport is an important aspect of growing up,
Yep.
and we are supportive of youth
Yes.
getting into sport and
Yep.
getting that opportunity.
I was away for a few days. My niece was playing in the nationals for volleyball.
Oh.
It was amazing how everybody comes together. There were girls from all across Canada, and they would, stop and they were exchanging pins, and they have these little clothes pegs that they
Yeah.
put on the backpacks. So they were doing all of that, and it was great to see everybody come together. So I really believe that sport brings people together, and for yourself as well. When you first moved to Canada, being involved in the sports and doing all the things, you probably had like a wide group of friends because of that.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
it's an in to the community, and
Yeah.
Calgary is experiencing the highest net migration in like all of our country. Right,
Yeah.
people are coming in, whether that's from outside of Canada or within Canada. It's a way to
connect.
Connect, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's very special. And I think Calgarians, there's something very special here.
Yeah.
It's a community, and we love to support each other. And I bet the girls that were trading pins and putting little clothespins on their backpacks, I bet that they had nice messages on them.
They did.
Yeah.
Very nice. Like,
Yeah.
it was, "You're beautiful."
Yeah.
You know, just those uplifting little quotes that they
Where
had.
else do you go and get that kind of support? Like,
You don't. Yeah.
it's within sport. It's something to be said about believing in someone's ability and recognizing it and letting them
Shine.
know
Yeah,
and shine.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
hey, I know you can do this. I
Yeah.
know you're beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think we all need a little bit of that reminder.
Yes, we do. Even as old as we get, we need that little
100%.
bit of lift every day.
Absolutely.
Even yesterday, after their last game, not only was the season ending, but they lost their last game, which they felt that they should win, and they were crying and all the tears and stuff. And there was two ladies or young girls that came from the Quebec team and came over and started hugging them. Oh, you'll be okay. That's fine. I just loved it. So I'm really glad that you were involved with this kids sport. What position do you hold there?
I do partnership development.
Okay.
So I help find corporate partners, events to be a part of, fund development.
Yeah.
I get choked up even thinking about the girls getting hugged. I was recently at the Calgary Marathon, just kind of in the charity block, cheering block, and seeing all the runners come through literally will choke me up. I was crying, I think, like 6 or 7 times throughout the day. Just you see all sorts of interesting things. Like there was a mom and dad with like little strollers, and they had registered their babies. So like their stroller had like a double carriage, and both babies had like a bib numbers, and so did they. And then there was a gentleman with like full-on goalie gear.
Oh, wow.
Doing the 10K. He walked the entire, and like getting from the dressing room to the ice in goalie gear is difficult, but this man did it, did the 10K with it, and it was all in support of KidSport. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many inspiring people in our lives on a regular basis. We just have to pay attention.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So did you feel as prepared for real estate as you did for going to the Olympics? I'm just curious.
I think with anything new in life, and this is such an important lesson that sport teaches you, is you suck at the beginning. And you think I'm expected to suck for a little while until you get good. And practice makes, not perfect, but practice makes progress.
Right.
So the more you learn, the more you dig into things, the more you bite, the more you chew. And so I don't think I suck at real estate. I just know that I'm very new, and I'm very passionate about it. Like you mentioned, I'm connected to the athlete community from personal experience. I know how hard it was to move from Ottawa to Calgary and find a place to live. And if I experience that, there's other people that are experiencing the same challenge. And if I have a glimpse of insight into what that means for them, whether they're a coach from abroad or an athlete from across the country, we can solve that problem together.
Well, you could probably provide them with information that a regular realtor who hasn't been in the athlete world would know.
Absolutely.
Where's the best rinks and all of those kinds of things.
Well, they'll know their facilities, but the neighborhoods, right? Like I've lived here for 12 years, and it's, you know, how to get to COP.
Yeah.
This is the best route.
Right.
This is the best neighborhood you could live. Yeah, this is how you can get some extra income. So when you're abroad for 6 months competing, someone's in your house and they're kind of taking care of it.
Yeah.
They're mowing the lawn or shoveling the
walk.
sidewalk.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we need that in Calgary.
Yeah.
Like you can't just like leave your house for 5 months, and most athletes do that.
Have you been enjoying it? Have you been enjoying all the colleagues and people that you've been getting to know?
I've been loving it. I've switched brokerages. I've been to 2. Both were very enjoyable for different reasons. I'm now with Engel and Volkers, and I have an incredible mentor, Gina Winter. And I remember just walking into her shop because she had a dog adoption pop-up.
Oh.
So there was puppies in her shop.
Who can resist puppies?
100%. So naturally, I'm like, what's going on here? And so somehow it came out that I was a licensed realtor, and she was like, let's go for coffee. And I think she kind of found out who I was and was like, well, there's opportunity here if you are interested, and being a woman, and she's just a powerhouse.
Yes.
And she offered, she's like, I was like, I'm so new, why would you want me? And she's like, I can teach you. Like,
Yeah.
you have a special skill in your own personality, and I will, the real estate stuff will come.
Yeah.
And
She saw the potential in you. Sheena is one of our volunteers. She's
Yeah.
sat on a couple of committees.
she's amazing.
Yeah, she really is. So maybe we'll get you volunteering one day too. In closing, is there anything that you would like to say to the listeners out there?
Real estate, I think, is a turbulent industry. I think that it's a huge transaction, it's a huge move in life, and I think working with people that you know, like, and trust is key. And so sport taught me a lot of integrity, and I think that I hope that that is now something that is integrated into our industry. I know that the board has worked very hard on the reputation of realtors, and I hope that I had an enjoyable real estate transaction experience, and it's like, well, that needs to change. And so I thought I'd be the vehicle
Yeah.
naturally. No, it's step by step. I think
Yeah.
that when we start with baby steps, we start moving in the right direction,
Yeah.
and I think that that's hopefully where we go.
Yeah, I just want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Of course.
For coming and sitting down with us today.
It was a pleasure to chat with you.
Oh, thank you. Are you finished now with racing, or are you a coach? Are you still involved in it?
Skeleton is such a unique niche sport. I had a couple of friends ask if I would help coach. So last year I went to Lake Placid for their World Championships, and I helped out there. And then last November they asked me to go to Cortina to try and figure out the track with them. And so that was a really, really neat experience.
Oh, fun.
I didn't retire exactly on my terms, so it was really a cool opportunity to go with them to the 2026 Olympic
Yeah.
track, be in Italy, and it was such a beautiful setting. So I'm really fortunate that I was able to give a little bit of all the knowledge that you have,
Yeah.
because in the regular world, I won't be able to dispense that knowledge,
Exactly,
and you feel like it's like a
exactly.
lost
Yeah.
talent that you're like, I could talk about runners and cuts and
Right.
and track theory and aerodynamics, and who do I dispense that knowledge to? And so it was really cool to be able to work with two friends that I competed against that saw something in me valuable to offer them
Yeah.
on their Olympic journey.
It's amazing that people can see things in us that we don't see in ourselves. So I'm glad that you're still involved to a certain degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for joining us on the CREB Cast again this week. If you would like to be a guest, please reach out to us. Thank you again, Mirela, for joining us, and I hope that everybody has a great day.